So today we're gonna go on a treasure hunt for maybe the weirdest treasure that I've seen in a movie, um, by three kids that are on SNL right now. Which is my first question for everybody. So we're gonna talk about "Please Don't Destroy the Treasure of Foggy Mountain" up next on the Entertainment Jungle. I do have some predictions. I'm more into this week than I was last week. Last week I was off my game, so I'm hoping that this one is a little better. So let's start off with a little description from IMDb, which is when three friends who live together realize that they don't like their life trajectory, they set off to find a gold treasure that is rumored to be buried in a nearby mountain. I think that's actually pretty close.
Yeah,
Right?
I would agree with that.
I mean, I think so, right? So I just want to jump into it. I have one prediction about one of you and what you didn't like, but I'll bring that up later. So I want to start with Walter, and I want to see what his overall thoughts are on this treasure hunt movie.
I hate you again.
No, come on.
This movie was
on.
literally the worst. I think the worst movie I've seen in a while. It was the dumbest. It was horrible acting, worst written script. No point, waste of my life, and I was damning you last night because I was like, I can't get this time back. I hated the movie. I hated you.
All right. Well, tell us what you really think. All right. Let's go. I'm gonna go Ryan the Lion because I don't know if we're good. Let's see who's on the same page.
So I'm familiar with these guys as like the SNL digital short guys. Like that's basically the role that they've taken over on SNL. And I mean, that's basically, to me, this just felt like a really long SNL digital short. Like, it was basically just like a really, really long version of one of their little skits. They always kind of play these same, more or less the same characters. Like these ones were, I believe, obviously they played up the nerdy awkwardness more than the actual people that they are. But, more or less the same. I don't know. It was, I will say it didn't keep my attention the whole time, but I definitely chuckled here and there. I had to watch it a couple times because I realized like there were like stretches where like I was like, did I miss something? But no, it was just kind of a wacky, meandering movie. But I mean,
wait,
it was
so.
all right.
So Walter didn't even want to watch it once, and you watched it multiple times.
Times because like
Wow.
I would be watching it and realize like I don't think I paid attention for the last like 15 minutes, and now I have no idea what's happening.
Okay.
So I'd have to go back and be like, what did I miss? And it was like, not really much context. It just I now understood how they got to the new place, but it didn't make any more sense.
Okay. That's a fair point, actually. All right. 66.
I am pretty. I'm pretty satisfied with my decision here that I absolutely turned this movie off.
When?
Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't even see the part then that probably you hated.
Oh,
Did you find the?
Yes. So here's when
Oh,
I decided I was going to turn it off.
Okay.
Was during the Magic Penis show, and
Oh.
then that's when I texted you guys. Oh, remember that movie that I hated so much I turned off because the dolphin slapped the person on the boat with their dick?
Yeah.
Yes. So then I was like, I'm going to turn this off. And then I was like, I'm going to give it a little bit longer. And then his penis caught on fire. I'm like, wow, I'm really going to turn this off. And then the principal was putting the fire out with his hair. I was like, this is absolute garbage, but let me give it just a little bit longer. And then the whole thing at the I don't even know I forget where they were. And it was like a banquet, maybe it's a bar mitzvah or something. And it was a birthday party or something. I forget. And he finally realized, oh, I got to go for this treasure hunt. Mountain treasure, Fred's treasure, Coppice Mountain. And he got up and ran into a table. I'm like, this is the stupidest movie since Step Brothers. And Step Brothers,
Whoa.
I hated, but was way better than this. Like,
Step
I'd
Brothers
rather
is
watch
way better,
Step
but it is
Brothers.
a very stupid movie.
I'd rather watch Step Brothers 10 times before I even attempted to watch this one more time.
I don't know if you can see the.
Did you turn it off before they even went on their adventure?
Absolutely. I wasn't going to sit there and watch them. And they're ridiculous. There was nothing about this movie that was good except for Conan O'Brien. The actors were terrible.
Oh,
the writing was garbage.
Yes.
And the plot was fine for a stupid movies. Like, the plot was fine. But, man, this was... I almost didn't even come on the show today, but I wanted to tell you how terrible this movie was.
Two questions.
We've seen this plot many times before, though. Like, this isn't a new plot.
My other question was, you didn't even see them get the treasure, and they actually got the treasure pretty early in this movie. That was number one.
No. But let me guess what happened. The one guy... They got the treasure.
What happened? I have to hear this.
The one guy decides he's gonna take the money from the treasure, and his dad is so happy. Oh my God, you're amazing now! So you can take over a shop and open up a chain of stores. And the other guy decides to buy a house with his girlfriend because now he's got the money and they can buy whatever house they want. And the other guy goes on a trip to wherever he was talking about going to a trip, like Europe or some crap.
You left out like two key parts, but that was very close.
I mean, you have a couple of pieces right, but like,
I'm excited
there's
to hear.
There's a lot that happens in between.
I
don't know
say that
if any of that matters, though.
Well, no, I mean, he kind of just proved that it didn't. You
Yeah.
saw like none of the movie and knew exactly how each story was going to end.
Do you know that the producers of Step Brothers produced this, right? This was a Judd Apatow production. So,
oh my God.
Well, it very much felt like it was trying to be super bad, so that's not surprising.
yeah, so it was.
Which was Superbad was great, but
Superbad
this
is
is just
fantastic. But
garbage.
like, kind of like you were like the scene with like the magic penis, like that was, I think, their version of like drawing the dicks in the Notebook. You know, like that was kind of like the same. Like, oh man, you don't know how bad it was, and dick related.
I mean, well, that was actually one of my questions. Well, first of all, besides me and Ryan the Lion, did anyone else know these guys before this movie? Did you know that they were like, they write on SNL or anything like that?
no, but they should be fired.
Yep, and I'm glad I didn't know them.
Okay. I mean,
I will say, in like a 2-minute segment, if you pack together the amount of laughs in this movie into a 2-minute segment, it'd be kind of funny.
so that was one of my things that I was going to bring up at the end was this felt like 5 of their shorts, like you kind of mentioned in your open, smushed into a movie.
Yep.
So there were parts of it where I was laughing. There was like a couple good one-liners, and I'm like, okay, that's a good one-liner. Ha! You know, there's a funny moment where they like punch each other in the throat. Like, okay, great. But I can see where if you were trying to, I guess, enjoy this as a movie, like a full movie, maybe that's where the problem is lying for everybody.
It was so Step Brothers. Everything was over the top and ridiculous. These 22-year-olds wouldn't be rollerblading down the street like that, all joyous and happy and ignorant to the fact that they're ridiculous, right? And then decide that they want more with their life because they're so dumb. If you're like, come on, man, no one's that happy rollerblading to work, and then you're miserable with your life.
Have you not seen Good Burger?
Bro, and here's the thing. It was Step Brothers to a T. He made a PowerPoint presentation to display to his dad that was just absolutely ridiculous of how he should take over the company. Isn't that exactly what happens in Step Brothers?
Yeah.
They make a
Yeah.
there's like a video PowerPoint presentation about how he should take over the company. It's so stupid that the dad's
Well,
like,
they wanted
get
to
out of my
start
face.
their own company.
Either way.
Prestige worldwide. Okay, don't make fun of Step Brothers.
That's the one.
And this guy also wanted to start his own company, actually. I don't know if you got to that part.
Yeah, that little
That's
pedophile
terrible.
that he
Terrible
is.
idea.
The worst idea ever. Wait, I want to backtrack to the one thing you like. Conan O'Brien
Oh,
Yeah.
was probably the best part of this movie.
yeah.
But the whole beginning montage when they show up and then he calls out everything that you just saw as being absolutely ridiculous. I personally, that made me laugh because I like when movies actually point out their own stupidity, I guess maybe is the way to say it.
That kept
So when
me
he
on
was
board
like-
a little bit, for sure. That kept me...
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay. This maybe is going to be a little bit, no.
But no. Okay. So the humor was like too silly, I guess, for you, right? But there were all right, that's what I was curious about. Well, let me talk to Ryan the Lion, who made it through the whole movie.
So many times, too. I watched it so many times.
How?
So
You deserve an award. They should pay you.
I mean, but again, I almost had no choice because I kept, like, I would not pay attention for like a little bit and kind of, I mean, I think Cornelius alluded to it. Like, it just felt like a bunch of their different short ideas cobbled together. So by the time I started paying attention again, they were in a brand new like concept, and I was like, well, how did we get here? Yeah.
the treasure, but then they forget about the treasure. Then they have to go into each individual silly moment with their lives, right? And then wait, 66, you didn't even get to the point with the hawk?
Started the adventure.
I really
Which is
do.
hilarious.
He ran into the table, and I was like, I'm done. Done.
That's so
Let me
early.
guess. Did the hawk like eat bird seed out of someone's butt or something? Like
That's pretty
what?
close.
No, but that's a good guess. I mean, that wouldn't have been out of character.
The hawk like follows them on foot for a while, and they said that, like, it doesn't fly. Then it comes back at the end.
It like chases them on foot, and then they like climb up a mountain, and the hawk just like stays down, and they're like, "Do they not know? Does it not know it can fly?"
I mean, I thought that was kind of funny. All right, I'm pivoting over to Walter.
Dude, there was nothing funny of this movie. I don't know what you're saying. What were you laughing at? It was so stupid. That's why you still watch SNL. It's that stupid humor. Oh, see, I'm getting angry.
See, that's where you would push your button to make your character have fire out of his ears.
I mean,
I don't even know what button to hit. Hit them all.
I think I don't think it was funny enough, but there were definitely parts where I chuckled.
I would say that. Well, what about? I'm trying
No,
to think
I
what would
hated it.
make. There's nothing. I was trying to think. There's nothing that
Nothing.
made you laugh.
Nothing made me sincerely laugh.
All right,
I
I'm
laughed
looking at my
it
notes.
because it was so awkward. But it wasn't laughing like I enjoyed it. I laughed at that. I'm like, it's like that cynical, like, oh god, yeah, I'm gonna kill John Cornelius.
I don't know.
Wait a
I
minute.
enjoyed. I mean, now I'm jumping ahead a bit, but like the fight scene was kind of funny to me. Just how awkward it was. Like he was like, "Oh
That's
no,
what I was.
but we don't know how to fight." It's like, yeah, but I don't think they do either. And then Conan just goes and like hides in his office and watches The Office.
That's just stupid. It's not funny. And then he drinks the alcohol, and he's got some stupid Italian accent. I wanted to slap him. Everything had a callback.
I
Everything
think
had a
if
callback.
that never came up again,
No, this is one of those movies where they had callbacks and they tie everything together, and I'm like, I wish you didn't.
but that's
I really
what I
wish-
mean. Like
Huh.
I do appreciate that they did the. I mean, when you write something, like that's the point. Like if you introduce something, it should serve a purpose. So they did do that, but the purpose that it served, admittedly, was typically unfulfilling.
Well, I'm just trying to think now. I thought
I didn't watch a lot of it, but even like the magic show, right? Like the magic show at first, I was like, this is kind of obviously something's going to happen. He's going to embarrass himself. He takes out the flowers and he's got like some charisma and charm. And he's like, oh, he takes the flowers and gives it to a girl and everybody's screaming and clapping. And then something embarrassing is going to happen, but does it have to be that stupid where it's a little kid with his penis out that catches on fire that the principal has to put the fire out with his hands? Like that is just, it's so absurdly stupid and
Oddly enough, that
unnecessary.
goes back later as well.
I was just gonna say two things. One, that does come back later.
That's terrible.
Unfortunately.
Well, wait, but the other
in
thing
an
was
unsatisfying way, admittedly, but it does come back.
correct.
Like, it would have been better if it was a George Costanza moment and he forgot to put his shirt on or forgot to put his pants on, but he had underwear. Anything would have been better. Like, not.
Is it better to? Is it better to? It's not smart. It's more like if they held back, would it have been better? I guess is the way to word that. Do you know what I mean? Like they purposely are like, penis is funny, and that's
Just
crazy. That'll never
less,
happen.
Man. A little less.
It's kind of interesting because typically I would say like pick a lane and stick with it, like either like go super absurd or stay more grounded. And I think that they did objectively go super absurd with everything. It's that I don't know why it just didn't work for me. Maybe I have aged out of like this kind of comedy, like this. Oh, okay.
So with all the other comedies, I mean, for me at least, with Step Brothers, I liked both of those actors, so it worked for me, regardless how dumb it was. But these people, yeah, the characters. Well, yeah, but so I was okay with that. I know, but I actually like. I don't know why I like that, but versus these people, I didn't like the character or the actors, so it kind of just like it ruined. Like no matter what, it was over. I don't even know who they are. I just didn't like them because of how bad the movie was, and I hate them even more.
What are some like really amazing, absurd movies of our time, like Old School or 40-Year-Old Virgin, or name a movie, Step Brothers? Like those movies, for the most part, are beloved. Were they just as ridiculous as this at the time, or is this just that much more absurd? Like
I mean,
did we age out?
It's kind of interesting. I feel like when you're making a ridiculous movie, something like this, like either you need an ensemble cast that are absolute rock stars together, like Super Troopers. I feel like it's a great example where like that, like cast together, rock stars, just like hit magic. Like that movie was ridiculous, but it worked. Or you need like individual rock star actors, like you mentioned, like 40-Year-Old Virgin. Like you have guys like Steve Carell and Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd. Like those guys are rock star actors. So like, I feel like that's what was lacking here. Whereas like, I mean, I think obviously these guys work well together. It's like literally what they do. But for whatever reason, it just didn't. I mean, and maybe it was their first attempt at something this long. And it just, they just didn't quite hit. Because I mean, again, like I've definitely seen some digital shorts where, I mean, I guess I still only really chuckled. Like I can't think of any that really had me howling, but I know that like I didn't hate them.
Yeah, so it's like every SNL. Every now and then, there's like, okay, there's a good one.
But there's some ridiculous like Sausage Party, Grandma's House. There's some ridiculous movies out there. What's the one with like Seth with the Pineapple Express? Like there are some absolutely absurd, stupid comedies that they know when to stop pushing the envelope because it just pushes it to a not funny moment. Like you can go so far over the line that it's no longer funny. It's just absurd and stupid and almost insulting.
I mean,
to piggyback on that,
like, to me, I think you just all those movies that you listed, like they all have like stars. Like even though they like not all of them were stars at the time, like those are all like movies with actors in them that it's like now it's like, well, yeah, that's an incredible actor. Whereas I don't think these kids are going to be remembered this way. These kids are going to be remembered like Chris Kattan, which is the reason that like his movie would be a flop, for example. No offense to Chris Kattan, but what was that one he did where
That was awesome. Like, what are you talking? Yeah, what are you talking about? That wasn't a flop. That was amazing.
flop is? Just because you enjoyed it doesn't make it profitable.
That's true. So this movie, it just seems like every scene they were trying to hit a joke, and they were forcing things that they shouldn't. And that's why it was so stupid, because it's like you're not giving time to spread it out, develop a story. You're just throwing these stupid jokes, punching people in the throat 5 times. Like, all right, I got it after the first 2. Like, it's like it was so dumb.
I have my dumb movie moment, although there could be many in this one. But I'm sure you loved the hairless bear that came out of the treasure room, because what was the point of that? Like, how did the bear get in there? And how did it live in there? And
bear was going to come back at some point. Like, what else? Like, that one didn't come back. Like, they literally introduced it for 2 seconds, or at least, like, I thought they were going to have to, like, fight the bear. But no, nothing very funny happens. Like, the bear just comes out, yells at them a little bit, goes back in, and that's the end. Like,
what? I was going to say, it would be a perfect opportunity at that fight scene at the end for the bear to show up. And
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it would have been way funnier if at some point they had to fight that bear. Like, I thought they were going to fight the bear, and I was very disappointed that nobody fought the bear.
Yeah, so like they that was the one thing they introduced and then didn't bring back, and they had the opportunity to bring it back.
Like you just said, how funny would it have been if at the end, like that end fight scene, like the bear came back and like just like ripped like one of the like cult guys' heads off out of nowhere. Like that would have been hilarious. You don't think that would have been funny?
No, I don't. But because I hated the movie, so no matter what they did, they wouldn't have gotten me to like it.
Funny things can still be funny.
Wait, just because you hated it doesn't mean you have to not laugh. Did you like force yourself not to laugh?
You're hating an idea that wasn't even in the movie because you hated the movie.
Don't just be mad because you're mad.
Was stupid. No, the movie was just stupid anyway, and the whole bear thing. Like, come on, really? Where did that come from?
Well, yeah.
Even if it came back, it's like, come on, get out of here.
All right, wait a minute.
But why introduce it at all then?
Yeah. Wait a second.
Why watch this movie at all, though?
Walter, I need you to tell me. I don't care. You hated it. I can't wait for your rating. But tell me you laughed at something. There must have been one thing you chuckled at or anything. I want to know.
At the beginning, you must have chuckled.
Like, you didn't laugh when Conan was like. I laughed a lot when Conan was ripping him apart. Like, you're 3 hours late and you're shredded, and like the way his delivery was perfect in that moment, in my opinion.
But that's what you expect of him. So it wasn't something that I cared for, because you like Conan more than I do, and I don't watch his show, and so I don't really care for him or his comedy. But it didn't make me chuckle because I had to watch these idiots skate there and then give beer to kids.
Forget.
So by the time they even got to him, I'm like, I was already out. My mind was like, this is dumb.
I gotta give you credit for pushing through, though.
I will say that. Wait a minute, but that was like you were already out. That wasn't even a full.
You were out like 2 minutes in, and you pushed through to the very end.
Mentally, I was out. I was like, man, this is dumb.
Oh boy! All right, well, wait. I have 2 more things to talk about. 66 can't even talk about him because I don't think he made it this far. Did you make? What was the point of the cult? Did anyone like the plot line of the cult in the woods? Like Bo and Yang, I get that was just they probably wrote it for him specifically.
I enjoy him, like he's funny, but no, I thought that was point. But again, it must have just been like one of their ideas. They were like, oh man, we have this cult idea. Let's throw it into our movie because obviously our movie has to be longer than a digital short. I mean, that felt like almost everything that happened in this movie felt like it was a standalone idea that they shoehorned into this movie because, well, we like this idea and this movie has to be longer than it currently is. I'm not saying it was a good idea. That's just what it felt like to me.
All right. One thing that maybe everybody liked. What about John Goodman as the narrator?
Like, do people not recognize his voice?
Like,
I actually enjoyed.
Go ahead.
Not. I didn't see that part, but I enjoyed. I was like, oh, that's John Goodman. That's cool.
Right? I was like, oh, that's John Goodman. And then, like, at some point, like, in the movie, he is like, by the way, I'm John Goodman. I was in
Oh yeah, Big whatever he was.
Big Lebowski.
He was talking. He
Yeah.
did have one of the
also
lines that
Fred
made
Flintstone.
Fred Flintstone. He had the one line that made me laugh when he was saying, like, at the very end. So at the very end of the movie, they have the treasure, but the hawk finally learns how to fly and like takes the treasure and leaves. And I thought that was actually funnier than them actually getting the treasure. But then John Goodman had a great line because the hawk comes back and he's like, holy shit, he's coming back. Like, that's the funny line, but actually it made no sense. Like, it would have been better if he left. I think it never came back. I don't know. Oh man, I can't. 66 didn't finish it. Walter didn't even find anything funny.
You brought me back to my normal hating self. Was hoping to enjoy a movie.
You did last week.
Yeah.
Yes, last week you enjoyed the movie.
Was that Roadhouse?
Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Or no, 2 weeks. When did we watch
that was Nick. That was the Nick Cage one.
Oh.
Yeah, Dream Scenario was the one you liked.
Okay, we watched that.
Didn't you like Roadhouse too?
I did.
Yeah, you've been liking most of the movies.
Yeah, you're on a
just
streak,
not this
buddy.
one.
Good for you.
Yeah, not just.
We broke the streak now.
Yeah. I had an open mind. Now it's closed again.
Oh man, that sucks. All right, well, how about this? Is there anything? Well, I don't think Walter has an answer for this. Is there anything that you liked, or is there anything that you really hated, or anything that you want to talk about with us as the group that we can bring up? And I don't know how else to word that.
I'd love to know what was the ending resolution, and was it satisfying? Did you like it? Did it make you what were your thoughts on the end of the movie?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Like, was it worth it?
No.
Walter's obviously no, but like for the two people that actually like saw it and kind of thought
it certainly
was okay.
wasn't like an ending that was like, it was like, oh man, thank God that like was like wrapped everything up perfectly, and I'm super happy. It was, I mean, but it's fine. It didn't.
I
improve your feelings. It was just more of the same.
I mean, I was like, okay, they did all their callbacks, and the movie's over, and I laughed, and then I went to bed. Like, I don't think it wasn't like, it wasn't satisfying or really, it was just that. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't anything.
I mean, it wasn't. They didn't do anything with the ending to like have like a huge swing one way or another. Like it just kind of like a lot of the same kind of feeling that you had throughout the movie.
You did miss something.
I missed a lot of things, but I wouldn't say I missed.
So they're trying to sell the treasure at the end of the movie, and they need a buyer with a lot of money. So they get the kid from Stranger Things. They get Dustin from Stranger Things to make a cameo to then buy the treasure.
Okay.
But during this big end fight scene, he gets impaled with like an aerator that you would use in your garden.
Like immediately. Like that's like one of the first things that happens when like the fight's about to start.
So they don't sell it.
Not to him. He died.
Do they sell it at all?
We don't know.
It's unclear.
The hell is the point of the movie then? Don't destroy the treasure. That's the name of the movie. Don't
point of the movie
destroy
is that
the treasure.
SNL likes to make movies, and these guys work for SNL, and so they made a movie.
You don't remember
destroy the treasure. Just
we loved Coneheads, but maybe it wasn't that was a weird movie too, and I'm assuming
it's called Coneheads. They have Coneheads. Okay, dodgeball. It's about dodgeball. Snakes on
the
a
whole
plane. It's
movie.
about snakes on a plane. What was the point of this if they didn't get the treasure and sell it and make money? What was the point? Fuck.
the journey. I mean, that's true. That's pretty true.
It wasn't a great journey, but that was ultimately the point of it.
Yeah. All right. I can't wait to go over this part with everybody. So, ready for the ratings? Okay. So,
Critics, 100%.
100.
I hope the critics are 100. I mean, I looked it up. I should change it. So we have IMDb is at a 6.1.
Oh.
Out of 10.
Facts.
The critics are at a 42%, and the audience is at a 91%.
Oh.
Get
Oh,
outta
the board.
here.
Yo, I do not trust the audience scores anymore. I feel like they've been artificially inflated for every single movie that I have seen recently.
So I will say there's something about SNL that I don't like, and it's whenever anyone shows up on screen, immediate applause, like just absolute immediate applause, and that I hate. Like I hate that. So that's where I think this 91% comes in. Like if you like these guys, that's fine. You're allowed to like them, but you don't have to love them just because you like them. Like the movie was subpar. So, it was what it was. Anyway, so I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what everyone else is going to say. Oh man. All right. I'll go. Should we go low to high? Let's go low to high. No. Yeah, I'm going to go low to high. It's got to be. Well, Ryan, I don't even know. 66 didn't finish it. How? Like I can't. I don't even know what's going to happen here.
I mean, 66 has to give it like a 1, right? Like how far did you get? 15, 20 minutes?
Listen,
you didn't even make it 20 minutes.
If this movie what's the lowest rating I can give?
I guess a
zero.
Point. I guess a zero.
You
you give a scale?
Point.
0. This is a 0.
Yeah, like I mean, he's giving it the lowest score possible. He watched 15 minutes of this movie.
Well, on
At least the Matrix.
Oh my
Sorry,
god,
go ahead.
pushing that wrong button.
Oof.
No, on our banana scale, it goes to like a black banana completely rotten is a 1, but we also have a 0.5 scale, so you can go 0.
I want to go with
guess.
whatever the lowest score is that I can give. That's the score I'm giving. Like
All
if
right.
it's a 0, I'm giving it a 0.
I mean, we got one guy who couldn't stand to watch more than 15 minutes of it, and we got another guy who knew he hated it 2 minutes in, but pushed through to the very end.
Yes.
So credit for that.
All right, I'm gonna let you
it.
give a 0. We're gonna put it up. I'm gonna let you give a 0. So I would love it if the computer would work and show your 0 on screen. All right. So
And it's no
What?
offense to like these writers. Maybe they're great on SNL. This is their first time doing a full length movie. Like, good for them. I'm happy they got their chance, but this was just absolute garbage. So I'm sorry. I hope they get another chance, and I hope they get a chance to do something better.
So.
But yeah, well, I'm an audience member, and I gave it a 0.
Their fans,
Right.
their fans came out in full support.
I definitely don't
trying to-
consider myself a critic.
All right. So, Walter, I have to hope that you're slightly higher than this, but let's
I'm
see.
definitely slightly higher
negative
because
2.
My vivarium score was 0.00001 or something like that. So this one gets a 0.5 because it's horrible, but nowhere near as bad as vivarium. I don't
That's
share the
right.
same sentiments. I hope they never write another script. I hate them. I really do. I think they suck. You can't even write other people's names in. You have to play your own name in the damn movie. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. Stupid cast, stupid writing, stupid plot, stupid everything. Don't waste your time. Don't watch it. Don't even watch SNL anymore because of how bad they are.
Come on.
I don't really like SNL anyway because of this. This is what happens a lot too when I watch SNL. A
just
lot
get
of
angry.
dumb moments.
Well, at least some of the skits, if you don't like it, the next skit you might like. You know what I mean?
Yes.
This movie, if you don't like it, you're in for 2 hours of not liking it.
Yeah.
That's true. Whew. All right, go for it, Ryan the Lion. I have no idea what I mean. That I guess you're higher than 0.5, but
Yeah, I
and
mean,
0.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of said it felt like just a bunch of their digital short ideas cobbled together. It was pure nonsense. I chuckled from time to time, but it certainly wasn't enough for me to deem this an enjoyable movie. There were things that I liked. There were even some things that I liked that I like in theory, that like the way they executed it, I was like, that one didn't get me to laugh. But I mean, that's a thing that should make me laugh. So I mean, there's also that knock. There were definitely scenes where like they did a thing that I typically enjoy and couldn't even get me to laugh doing that. So I mean, it very much felt like we were just watching three friends work on a first draft of a movie. And I think that's what we got. I mean, what felt like their first draft, like just them hanging out, talking about like, oh man, we should make a movie together. Yeah, what should we do in it? It's like, oh, what if we do this? Oh yeah, I like that. What about this? Oh man, and then we can build up and do this. And it's like, all right, but at some point you got to rein it in and come up with an actual cohesive like idea across the board. And I never got that sense. And I mean, like we mentioned, there were some things that did come back, which again, typically I enjoy, but they weren't even satisfying. And then there were things like the bear, where why was that even in this movie? It didn't accomplish anything. So,
I'm waiting.
Rating. Ooh, a rating.
I mean, like I said, I thought it was
You're fishing for
fine.
something.
I chuckled from time to time, but certainly not enough to recommend it. I'm gonna go with 4 bananas.
I knew it was me 4. New 4.
You're just too nice.
Yeah, well, and that's weird because when there's like a legitimate movie that like is like you rip apart the plot holes and anything like you rip these movies apart that are serious movies that are like supposed to be really great, right? Anytime a Star Wars movie, anything like that. But when it comes to a stupid movie like this, it was like, that was silly, but whatever. I just, it's a 4. Like this
again,
is
like I want the movie to be what it wants to be, and so from my perspective, I feel like it kind of did what it was trying to do. Okay. It just didn't do it well. That's
fair. You're judging it based on the type of movie it is.
They weren't trying to make a Star Wars movie or like a Goodfellas movie. Like they wanted to make a stupid fucking movie, and they made a very stupid movie. Now, was it a stupid movie that I would recommend or want to watch again? No, it wasn't.
No. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
It was in the realm of what it was trying to accomplish.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Called this movie a first draft and still gave it a 4. You called it a first draft.
Well,
that's like horrible.
I do want to piggyback off of that for just a second because when I saw these guys and then they were making a treasure hunt movie, I thought, why? What does that connect in anything that they've done before? Or where does it connect in anything that's going to make a cohesive story? So I was thinking to myself, that's an odd plot to choose if you're just making a funny movie. Like you could have done a lot of other things, but they did what they did. I wrote down immediately kind of what I don't want to echo Ryan line, but I said this looks like a bunch of skits merged together. You could even tell by their one-liners that they try to do like the Apatow movies did in the past. You could tell when they were making fun of each other. They're like, "You're a this," and you look, you look like this, a gum job or whatever they said in their purple suits. Like that was just them doing one-liners for fun without the cameras on. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna use this one of 30 insults that you did." So I'm the highest because I laughed more than everybody, but I'm not that high. And there's no way I could give it higher than like some other movies that we watch. Like, so I'm going with 4.5. I want to say recently there's a lot of movies I wanted to give a 5 to, but I just can't because I'll never forget.
I know. Now that we've established that 5 is like the most forgettable rating that you could give, it's like, well, I can't give this a 5. I'm gonna remember it.
I will say,
so it's always got to be like shift, like either. Well, I'll remember it for a negative reason, so it's a 4.5, or I'll remember for a positive. That's 5.5.
I was at a 5.5 before I signed on, but I figured it wasn't that funny. I liked Conan. That was the best part.
I was as high as a 4.5 at one point.
So I went down a point, but yes, I am a Conan fan. But he couldn't save the movie. He was in it for 5 minutes. So, I don't know what to say. I mean, it was a stupid movie. If you want to see an absolutely stupid movie, then by all means. But if you don't,
there are other better stupid movies.
Then name another better stupid movie.
Super bad.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Any of them.
Oh no, you're
the other guys.
I wasn't gonna correct you. I was agreeing with you. There's other stupid movies. I wasn't gonna do any of that. So, oh man. All right.
I mean, for me, this felt like it wanted to be like super bad, or God, I don't know. It just.
Well,
I don't know, man.
If nobody knows, I mean, all right. Maybe everybody else knows. So, if you agree with us, we all.
Or if you're one of the 91%.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
I want to hear from them.
Help me understand. Is it? I kind of wonder if like. We aren't, and I've been feeling this way a lot recently, where like I'm not the target audience. I don't think this movie is made for me. And maybe someone that is like 19, 20 years old thought this was hilarious. I don't know.
Oh man, are we really? Are we getting old? And that's why we can't enjoy this kind of movie? I mean, I usually don't like stupid movies, and I didn't say I liked it, but you're right. There was moments that I was like, that was dumb.
I mean, I've definitely reached a point where like I'll go back and watch movies that I watched as a kid where I was like, yeah, the kids are great. And I'm like, man, the parents really made a lot of sense here and the kids were idiots. So
uh-oh. Well, if you're part of the 91%, you got to let us know that you like this movie and why. That's more important to me.
I have to understand why.
I need to know why. If you didn't like this movie, you can still like and subscribe and share it with everybody. I need to know if anyone didn't make it through the whole movie because that's also interesting to me. The movie has to be very bad for me to just stop. I watched Aquaman 2. It took me 4 tries, but I finished it. So there's
that took you 4 tries, just like this one took me like 3. I think like 3.
I kept starting it at like 11 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden I fell asleep, and I woke up to the same exact part. Like the movie was anyway. That's another movie for another time. But oh man, last time I ended it with like movies. This I don't even know how to end it, so I'm just gonna say, come back next week for a better movie, hopefully, right?
Oh, don't promise that.
Yeah,
I don't make the movies.
For another movie. Who knows if it's gonna be better or not?
All right, fine. Come back next week for another movie. That's a fact.
That you can promise.
I can promise that. Cool. I'm good.
Quack you next time.
And then I